Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Plug Power, ticker symbol PLUG. And so I wanted to do a follow-up on this one because it's been pretty exciting. I believe I made a video back here suggesting that the bottom might be in around there. And my most recent video came out on, I believe, January 30th. Suggesting that this could be a bull flag, pointing out this signal that we saw here, that doji there before a gap up, and we saw something similar, then had a gap up. And in last week's video, I did suggest that price could be heading up to $5, and just 2 days after that video, hit a high of $5.14 on February 1st. And so I do think it's pretty exciting, but I do think that, it might be putting in some topping signals. So I do want to go over that while price is at $4.49, closing the day on February 6th at that price. Let's see where price is going to go. And so in order to do that, I'm just going to throw up some lines that I've drawn, went over these in previous videos. And I do want to point out one thing that does look pretty bullish with the percentage up on the day being 3.34%. Does look like we have a bullish engulfing candle there. So that is showing some strength. Also did get a close above the 786 level at $4.40.6, clearly being above that. But, there are some topping signals. It might stand out to you, might not. Does look like we put in a double top. And so with that, I do think we want to be looking for levels that we could see some consolidation at, form a bottom to potentially continue higher from, or, it's quite possible those will be bear flags that we see and some moves to the downside following these bull flags to the upside, like this one that we see here. And so with that being said, one thing that does stand out to me as being bearish, which I don't typically pay too much attention to, but I do think it is an important indicator, and that is the volume. So we can see that, on this previous move up, we did see volume up to 158 million. And so that is a lot of shares traded on that day, January 23rd. But then if we look over on the 31st, when we had the second gap up, the number of shares traded was, 130 million. So lower than what we saw on this gap up day. So it does seem like volume is fading on this bullish day that we had February 6th. Did get a nice green candle on the day, but not too much volume there. So with volume fading, it is quite possible that we are seeing a double top and we're going to see a pullback. But what are some levels price might settle at? Or, has price settled at the 786 before consolidating around $4.40 and making an attempt to break above and hold $5 a share. And so one level that stands out to me that I had drawn before, sorry, it's also white, but is this level at $4.03. That was the high on January 24th. And so, we did get a wick testing that level. I do think price might settle around there. It does also seem to coincide with the 618 retracement at a price of $3.95, right around $4, that just being a psychological level. However, though, you might notice we are in this area where there's a good amount of volume traded. But just below it, right around, $4.14, we do see a little bit of a gap, less price action there. But we do see this little shelf here that would be around $4 again. So price might be returning there and, possibly continuing to the downside. But what I suspect with this bullish engulfing candle is there will at least be one more attempt at $5 a share, where this red line is $4.99. And, if we can get one close above that level, that might be good, but that might also serve as a fake out. So what we really want to see are 2 closes above $5 or $4.99 a share, and that would really signal that price will continue higher. But we haven't seen that yet. We just saw this rejection. We saw the open on the first being at a price of $4.98, so that's lower than the high here. We have not been able to get a close above that, and that is really key. And then let's see. So I really just think that $4 is going to be a pretty key level. As far as this retracement goes, the levels that I've identified, I guess we do have this gap here. Let's see, the high on January 30th was $3.86, so could definitely be coming down to that level with this volume shelf here. Perhaps that will serve as a last line of support before we see this little gap area here before this next volume shelf, which would be coming down to a price of right around $3.40. But I just want to do one more Fibonacci retracement. This one going to the downside really is an indicator of levels that it might be going to the upside. I want to do one from the low here to the high here, if that is the high, to see what levels price might be settling at. So I'm just going to take a retracement from here at the bottom to the high at $5.14. And I'm just going to color that yellow so it stands out from the other retracement. And so what we can see, yes, again, confluence here at the 382 retracement at $4.04.1. We can see that that does agree with this line that I've drawn here at $4.03, the high, like I said, on January 24th. I do think that's going to be a key level. We might be returning to that. 50% retracement around $3.70, and then also the 618 at $3 and right around 36 cents. So in that general area, price might be coming back there. But there is also a possibility that we will see price go higher. I do have this gap marked from the big drop down here at a price of $5.88. So if price is able to get and have multiple closes above $5 a share, especially now with $5.14 a share, that being the wick high, we want to see closes above that, consolidation above that, bullish consolidation before continuing higher. And I do think that just above that, $6 a share, that is just going to be a psychological level. I do think that we could be testing that and then getting our hopes up maybe a little too high. We do see the 1618 retracement here at a price of right around $6.68. So could be seeing that. But really, once we get to this gap fill, there's going to be a lot of resistance there because, there are going to be bag holders at this price, and they'll be taking a breath of fresh air when price gets up to right around $5.88, $6, and they'll probably be dropping those bags, and so the price might get rejected from that level. So do be careful about that. So don't get your hopes too high about this 1618. But, I do feel like that eventually will be in the future. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.